Thanks for staying with us here on Sports Live. Well, the country has been gripped by continental football fever. A few minutes ago, Orlando Pirates beat AlAhly 2-1 in Cairo to make sure that they finish top of Group C. Sundowns are playing tomorrow against Asfar. They need a win also to finish top. A point will be good enough to advance to the quarterfinals. While in the CAF Confed Cup, Stellenbosch are also through to the quarterfinals with one game left against RS Berkane. So to look back at this continental football campaign for South African teams, we are joined now here on Sports Live by Katlego Modiba from the Citizen newspaper just to run through some of these matches and these results. And there he is there. Katlego, good evening from us on Sports Live. Thank you for speaking to us. Pirates have just beaten AlAhly in Cairo. How big is this victory for Pirates? Is it what we call a statement win?
Yes, Tabiso, you could say that it's a big win because when the group stages started, I don't think anybody, most people gave Orlando Pirates a chance, but to finish unbeaten in such a tough group and also get the statement win away at AlAhly, I think everyone will sit down and take notice of Orlando Pirates in the next round. And it's just not, it's also in the manner on how they did it because they're also scoring goals. If you look at in their whole campaign, I mean, they scored 10 and conceded 4. So Orlando Pirates, I would say everyone will be saying, okay, they might be the team to beat in the knockout phase. But I think this is a statement win to go away in AlAhly to get a result like that shows you that how much the team has grown under Jose Ribeiro, because even today they had to show character actually to come in and win it at the end there. So I think Orlando Pirates in the next group, they are the team to watch. I just hope that Mamelodi Sundowns win their game tomorrow so that we avoid a possibility of them meeting Orlando Pirates. And I think it will be a good advert for South African football if Orlando Pirates and Mamelodi Sundowns do go and meet later in the tournament, because if Sundowns fails to win their group tomorrow, there is that possibility that they could be drawn against Orlando Pirates in the next round, because Pirates, by virtue of winning this group, they are seeded in the knockout phase in the quarterfinals.
And how impressive is it to see also the youngsters stepping up at Pirates? Mufokeng, we saw Mohaung Kota also in one of the games scoring a brace.
It's very impressive, Tabiso, because not only are they doing it here at home domestically, they're also doing it on the continent. I think it goes to show that if you put faith and trust in these youngsters, you can get a result, a tune out of them. And I've been particularly impressed with Mufokeng, second game now in a row where he's scoring. And not only is he doing it here at home, he's doing it in AlAhly, in Egypt, against such a hostile crowd. And that can only bode well for Bafana Bafana. And I actually wrote an opinion piece on Mohaung Kota to say that, you can almost notice when a player is a special player because they can switch a game with just one touch, and Mohau is that player just outside the box. You know that he can hit them, Tabiso, and he can change the game. And I think those are the players that come knockout phase. They are the ones that are potentially going to steer around the Pirates in the right direction. When you talk of Mokoena, I think so far he has been the player to watch in this tournament, and I see people are already saying that if Orlando Pirates do go all the way or reach the final, he's up for the big award. I know it's still early to say, but I've seen that the talk has started on social media.
Okay, Mufokeng living up to his billing there. The big question now that they are out of the group. We know a wise man once told us that Champions League starts in the knockout stages. Can this Pirates team go all the way? Because the last time they got out of the group in 2013, they reached the final, they fell short against AlAhly. Can they go all the way here, or should their fans remain humble?
Look, Tabiso, I think there is cause for fans to be, optimistic at the moment because the team is playing well. It's hard to go to places in North Africa to also hold your own, and Orlando Pirates have been able to do that. And if you look at the history of this tournament, it has been dominated by North African teams. And if Orlando Pirates can go in such hostile environments and do get a result, it shows that they are ready to compete against anyone in this competition. And just to be short and to answer your question, I would say that in the knockout phase, anything can happen. Just take care of your home form. Just make sure you get the job done at home. And then going away, also their box clever. And I think Orlando Pirates this season have shown that there's something about them. Even if you look at the demeanor of Coach Jose Ribeiro, you can tell that there's some edge to him. He celebrates now, even a small goal. But then when he first started the first 2 seasons, he was a bit muted in his celebrations. And I think right now he's basically saying that this is the season to go big. This is the season to go for the Champions League and the league. And I mean, the last time they reached the quarterfinals, actually the knockout phase, because they went straight to the semi-finals at that point in 2013. They went all the way, and unfortunately they lost to AlAhly, like you said. But right now, they just need to take it one step at a time. But if I'm an Orlando Pirates fan, I'd be very, very optimistic.
And if you were a Sundowns fan, would you be optimistic ahead of the game tomorrow? A point will be enough to advance, but a win will see them top of the group then and be seeded and avoid facing the other group winners.
It has been a strange campaign for Mamelodi Sundowns. So when you look at how they started, 2 back-to-back draws that ultimately, if we're being honest, led to the sacking of coach Morena. So they've had a coaching change there in the middle of the season, but they've picked up under Miguel Cardoso. He hit the ground running, winning at home in the first in his first game against Raja, and then he went away and lost to Raja, but he came back and redeemed himself against AS Manyema Union. And I think if I'm a Sundowns fan, I was just it was never in doubt, in my opinion, that Sundowns could get to the knockout phase. It's just the manner in which they are playing, and I think for me, tomorrow they also need a statement win to remind the other groups, the other teams in other groups, to say, hey, we are Sundowns, we are still here, and we have the capability to go all the way. And I think if I'm a Sundowns fan, I would be also optimistic, because it's in their hands. You beat AS Manyema, you actually top the group. But I don't think Sundowns should go in with the mentality of going gung-ho in the game. They should box clever and maybe possibly take the game in the second half if it's not there in the first half, because I think AS FAR also, as much as they are guaranteed a place in the knockout phase, they are going to give Sundowns a tough time, and it's always very difficult to play against teams that adopt a low block. So let's just wait and see. But I think as a Sundowns fan, they should be optimistic. It's still in their hands. You win tomorrow's game, you're on top of the group, and a few teams would have taken this scenario before the group stages started. So yeah, let them be optimistic and go and fill up Loftus tomorrow.
But the fans don't want them to box clever. They want them to play like Bafana style. Even with the victory against Manyema last weekend, they were not impressed by that performance, even though they got the 3 points. What matters the most here? Or can you understand where the fans are coming from?
I think, so when you get at this point of the competition, it's all about getting the result and getting it done. And if you look at, and let's be honest, I can understand where their frustrations came from. If you looked at their last game against Manyema Union, for the entire game, basically for 80 minutes of that game, I can understand why they were frustrated, because they were goals down. It only took Peter Shalulile, who had been on the bench for the entire game. He changed the game literally in 10 minutes for them to get that win. So I do understand. But I tell you one thing, as much as they complain about the way they've been playing, because defensively they've been solid under Cardoso, and I think that's what he's working tirelessly on. But if they do go on and win that second continental title, the first one since 2016, I don't think anyone will remember how they played. So basically fans do expect a lot because of the quality that's in that squad. But I would say that at Sundowns, you have to win, and you have to win beautifully. But then if you do get the result, no one will remember how you actually got there, because I covered the run where they went all the way in 2016. And I can tell you that there are matches where they were economical, saying, okay, cool, we'll take this result and we'll finish it at home. Okay, now we've got the lead, let's box clever. So at the end of the day, you have to mix it up a bit. There's no one way to play in the Champions League.
What about the CAF Confed Cup? Stellenbosch have one more match against RS Berkane away from home tomorrow, but they're already through to the quarterfinals in their maiden campaign in continental football. That's a remarkable achievement. How have they been able to do it? Because we are seeing this team improve here at home also every season. They always seem to do much better than the previous season. What's been key here with this project at Stellenbosch?
So the project, I think, party to it being successful, you have to give it to Coach Steve Barker. He has been with the team for a number of seasons now. And it's such a remarkable story when you look at how they started in the CAF Confed, and you thought, oh, maybe they're not ready for the stage, but they've come back strongly and they're guaranteed a place in the next round. And I think it's quite interesting that as we cover these teams and speak to the coaches, Coach Steve Barker did say that, he believes that the team has matured and this is the time for them to actually go into the continent, and it will put them in good stead when they come home. But what has been key, Tabiso, has been their recruitment strategy and the fact that, they've got a coach that knows the type of style that he wants. They play on the counter. He gets players that, play to a T. If you look at how they lost Morena, who has continued to score for them. They've got Mojela. Unfortunately, he's injured now, but he looked the part as well. And they've just sold Jaden Adams now. But then I can promise you that there is a plan with Stellenbosch, is that when a player goes, they almost have like a carbon copy of a replacement that comes in and do the job, and that's good recruitment and also good talent identification. And I think for them, it's a successful campaign, no matter what happens in the knockout phase, because I didn't even expect them to get out of this facing some formidable opponents. So, yeah, credit goes to Coach Steve Barker and the rest of the technical team and how they've been able to put the idea down and get the whole squad to get behind it, even though when they lose key players along the way, but then they are able to keep it together. So credit must go to the head coach.
And overall, just South African teams are doing well. We're seeing the supporters also are taking continental football seriously. Gone are the days now where a team will send 14 players to an away match in the CAF Confed Cup or Champions League without a coach. Teams are taking this seriously. Where has it changed? Where has the mentality changed here for South African football that they're taking these competitions so seriously?
I think, Tabiso, yes, Sundowns, they've been the flag bearers of late, but I think we can't speak about Sundowns doing well without also giving credit to Orlando Pirates, who have in the past, carried South African hopes in terms of taking CAF football seriously, because we see the spin-offs and how that gets injected into Bafana. When you look at Mamelodi Sundowns at the AFCON, at some point they had 8 players in the starting 11, where Bafana won a bronze medal last year. So I think they are starting to see the value of playing in a higher level of competition on the continent. And I think that's where people now start taking it seriously and realizing that if you can do well on the continent, then at home you are likely to also succeed, because you play under difficult conditions on the continent. So I think Orlando Pirates started this trend. And then Peter Umusimani, former Mamelodi Sundowns coach, did say that, they took a leaf out of Orlando Pirates' book, and then also continued in their quest to do well on the continent. And I think now you're seeing guys like Rele Mofokeng. When he goes to the Bafana, it's seamless, basically, because he's used to this level of competition.
Katlego Modiba from the Citizen newspaper, thank you very much for joining us here on Sports Live, just giving us a wrap of the CAF football action involving South African teams.